Hey everyone, it's Alex from StrengthX here. Today we're going to be going over the top 5 bench press tips. These are just a few things that have helped me go from novice to intermediate. Bring my bench from 240 to 300. So I'm hoping these things can help you out too. But before we get into it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you are looking for coaching, I do have a few slots open. Just shoot me an email at strengthx1@gmail.com. and we can find a solution of my different tiers of coaching that will work for you. Alright, so first up we have to use the Bulldog Grip. This is going to help you keep a neutral wrist, which will lead to increased force production because you have stacked joints. That means you're going to be able to use more weight on the bar while having less stress on your wrist, which you'll have a lower chance of wrist injury just because your wrist is going to be, it won't be cocked back, it's going to be more neutral. To get the Bulldog Grip, you just imagine this is the bar. You want the bar to be really low on your hand, so your hand's kind of internally rotated a little bit. And so once you have the bar really low, you kind of just wrap your thumb around it, and then don't fully grip it, but kind of just like grip the bar with the top of your fingertips. And that's going to lead to the bar sitting, right down here. And your wrist is not going to be like that. It's going to be more straight up and down. Alright, so second on the list, we have determine your ideal grip width. Now you're going to want to videotape yourself to see this, or have a buddy at the gym watch and help you out. You're going to use different grip widths until you find one that allows your forearms to be perpendicular to the bar or perpendicular to the floor. So the bar will be like this. And you want your forearms to, they don't want to be parallel, you want to be perpendicular, which is, 90 degrees to it. You don't want to be in like that, you don't want to be out like that. Nice and stacked. So this is going to lead to stacked joints, which is also going to increase power and put more weight on the bar, ideally. But, not everybody can benefit from this. Some people do get shoulder and chest pain from the medium and wide grip benching. I am one of them. I think it's just because I have a weaker chest and front delt. So, some people can only perform the close grip, and that's just fine. They just got to do more tricep work. And if that is the case for you, I suggest trying to train that front delt tie-in chest area with the wide grip football bar bench press. This is something that I'm just started doing last month, and I'm liking the results so far. It's the only thing that gets me sore in my pecs. So this is going to be a great accessory lift to bring up a weak chest. Now, if you don't have a football bar, you can do like dumbbell or band front raises. You can do cable or band chest flies. Those are also great movements to bring up those weak links. And I would say that building up the weak links works almost 100% of the time, but only if you are training the muscles that are actually your weakest links. A lot of people have a hard time just due to ego and bias, and they train the things that they like to train, and they neglect the things that they don't like to train, which can lead to a pretty ugly picture, 10 years down the road. Alright, now we're moving on to number 3. This is going to be to increase your arch. I know not everyone's going to like this, but the facts are there. If you have a good arch, you're going to shorten your range of motion and put your shoulders in a safer position. So this is going to be good for longevity as long as you're arching correctly. You don't want to arch your lower spine. You want to arch the thoracic, which is your middle and upper spine. Don't arch your back, your lower back. I think of just putting my shoulder blades back and then down and kind of like pushing my chest up towards the bar. That's a great cue, chest up. And at the same time, you don't want to look at the bar. You want to keep your head straight, your gaze straight ahead, right up at the ceiling. And when you're setting up, make sure you put your toes behind your knees, as well as push your toes into the ground while keeping your heel up. This is going to maximize your arch and keep you very tight. And it won't let your legs wobble around. That's a big mistake. If your feet are kicking out to the side or forwards and backwards while you're pressing, that's just energy leaking out of your body. So the fourth tip we're going to go over is to do speed work against bands. Now this is a recurring theme. I gave the same tip with the top 5 deadlift tips. just because I'm a big advocate for speed work. It works really well for me. I just love it. You can do chains and straight weight too, but bands just have more benefit as far as speed work just due to their elastic nature. So I would do chains and straight weight for your speed work maybe every 3rd to 5th mesocycle. That way you break up the monotony of always using bands, which can be taxing over time if that's the only method you use. You know, it is good to rotate what you're doing, you know, every once in a while. That way you're not accumulating the same stress in the same area over and over again. So, you know, like I said earlier, the elastic nature of the bands, that's why they're so great for speed work. The way they snap, you know, it just really forces you to be explosive. It builds power with a lighter weight. You know, that's going to be good for your recovery rather than hitting heavier weights all the time. So, you know, you can train maximally doing the speed work without putting a heavy weight on the bar because, you know, that force equals mass times acceleration. So, you know, you got the force, which is your heavier work. And then you have the acceleration, which is your faster work, which in turn leads to more mass or, you know, more weight on the bar. Now, as far as programming the speed work goes, I recommend 3-week waves. So for week 1, you could do 40% plus 20 to 25% band tension. Week 2 would be 45% with the same band tension. And week 3, 50% with the same band tension. It's pretty simple. Some people can do 50, 55, 60. Some people can do 45, 50, 55. It all depends on how explosive you currently are. Alright, and last but not least, this is one that I just kind of realized over my last mesocycle. It's to stop always going for PRs. You know, sometimes the max effort method can backfire if you take it too literally and you're always going for new maxes and new PRs. Even though you are rotating movements, you're just pushing it to the limit too often. Now, a good way to solve this problem in an auto-regulated fashion would be to do sub-maximal single days. You know, you can do 2 to 4 singles with 90% instead of ramping up to a new 1-rep max. This is going to be great for getting practice and building confidence with heavier loads just due to the higher volume of heavy work that you'll be doing. But this isn't all you want to do for max effort work, so a good way to program it would be to do the submaximal singles during the first half of your mesocycle, and then you can ramp up to, you know, try to get new PRs for the back half of your mesocycle. So I usually work in a 4-week mesocycle, so my first 2 weeks are going to be submaximal singles, and then the 2 weeks after that I will be ramping up and testing if I can get a new PR. This is going to help with your technique, as I said earlier. It's going to keep your fatigue in check and prevent burnout. Well, I got to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you can see more awesome educational videos like this. I do have a top 5 squat tips video coming out soon. Stay tuned for that, and thank you. Have a nice day.